Hey everybody, Sean Hillacre here, VP Exploration with Standard Uranium. We're up here today at our Sundog project and I'm sitting here with our CEO, John Bay. How you doing, John?
I'm doing well, Sean. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's
Actually, I'm a little cold.
Yeah, it's balmy minus 32 with wind chill minus 42 this morning.
Yeah, so being up here in northern Saskatchewan, it's cold, but we're pretty safe. And I think we're pretty lucky to be in a place like Canada where the world's pretty good place to be right now.
Yep.
As we look over to Europe, things aren't so good right now.
That's true. Can you, that's a question, that I think a lot of uranium investors, people involved in the space kind of have right now is, how are these conflicts in Europe really going to affect the uranium market on a macro scale, but then on a smaller scale as well?
So, great question. We do get that question a lot. So I'll start off by saying, look, you need to understand that a lot of the uranium that's produced around the world comes from that region in Europe. So think about Kazakhstan and Russia combined, they probably supply about 60% of the uranium to the global markets. Now in the US, 94 nuclear reactors, a big chunk of that uranium is coming from those regions. So the US is now talking about creating sanctions on uranium incoming, and that's having an impact. And the Russians are talking about putting on sanctions on uranium going out. So those two things combined could mean we're not going to be seeing that flow of uranium and nuclear fuel products coming to North America, which means they really need to start thinking about producing locally. And locally, I don't just mean in the US, but also in Canada, Australia, but for us in Saskatchewan, that's big for us.
So how does this whole story kind of key into what we do as an exploration company? How does it affect us at Standard Uranium and other exploration companies in the space in Canada and North America?
Well, I think there's going to be a further shift to producing locally, and I think the exploration companies are going to get a bigger lift in their equities and allow them to raise more money and to spend more money drilling and making explorations, discoveries, which is what we want to do. Make a discovery, turn that into a mine, and then have that be able to produce into the uranium utilities here in North America.
For sure, that's exactly what we're here to do, and we're going to keep doing that. We're exploring all 5 of our projects this year, so it's a big year for us, and we'll see what happens globally here. So it's a pretty crazy time right now.
Once again, Sean Hillacre, John Bay signing off from Standard Uranium. Take care.